chances are that sometime in your life, especially as we age, that we'll be visiting a hospital. Pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you say very close to 100%? I would. What happens after you're discharged from the hospital? Does anybody know? Do we go home fully healed, say one day after a surgery with everything's fixed and we're running a marathon the next day? Well, I'd like to welcome one of the places you will most likely choose to go get back in shape so that one day you might be able to, but don't count on doing it the next day, okay? And, but they're gonna help you get home and get well. Today we'd like to introduce to you Lauren Gorden and Amanda Pratt from Tower Hill Healthcare and Rehabilitation right here in South Elgin. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us on.
You know, we get together for coffee before the show every morning, and these two ladies are just delightful. They were a little bit nervous, so we're going to be gentle on them this morning. And what I'd like to do is ask Lauren, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay, well, my background in healthcare goes back 13 years. I have 5.5 years in psych. That was what I did coming out of college. And I've been with Tower Hill for about 7.5 years in different capacities. I was a social service director, memory care unit director, and I was the activity director for a short while. I just came into marketing and admissions.
You pretty much have done everything for Tower Hill.
Yeah, I've been able to grow with Tower Hill. I'm thankful for that.
That's fantastic. It's great to have you there 13 years too. Great experience. Amanda, how about yourself?
Well, I've been in the healthcare industry for about 6 years now. I was with Rosewood for all 6 years and just recently joined the Tower Hill team about 5 months ago. And I've always been in admissions and I'm very passionate about working with the seniors.
And why is that?
Growing up, I was very close to my grandparents, and once they got ill, I was always very compassionate and there taking care of them. And ever since that point in my life, I realized that I had a true passion for the seniors in my heart.
And that's fantastic. Lauren, you shared a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I also was very close with my grandmother and took care of her, helped my mom take care of her, prior to her passing away.
And you know, we're very blessed in this industry because there are many, many people like yourself. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah, it's a special, kind heart that can look at the broader picture and understand what's needed and what to be watching for and all those little details that just maybe the normal medical institution won't really pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fantastic.
You have to have a heart for it. That's the key. Well, let's get in and talk a little bit about Tower Hill. Does Tower Hill? I'm going to start this one. What levels of care does Tower Hill offer?
Tower Hill offers short-term rehab and also long-term custodial care. So if someone has a knee or hip replacement, they would come to Tower Hill to rehab. Usually average length of stay is anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, getting all therapies, physical, occupational, speech therapy. And then if they need to transition and are not safe to go home, they can stay at Tower Hill long-term care, which is one of our great niches that I like to tell people about.
What's custodial care?
Custodial care is 24-hour care, and also patients that need help with their ADLs. So it's 24-hour care. The assistance with everything.
So it's something where they get discharged from a hospital and they come by you and they need more attention than just going straight home and having somebody visit or rehabilitation. They need to have that 24-hour
so they would deal with us.
And by the way, sometimes some of our audience don't know our buzzword. What does ADL stand for?
Activities of daily living.
And we love those.
Yeah, well, you know what? Because you think about it, the audience is a lot of my generation where we are going to be caring for our parents. And if you're not in that industry, that's why I love the fact do this show, or you guys put this show together, because I've learned so much and utilized a lot of the lessons that we learned here during your guests. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Now, does Tower Hill offer any specialty services?
Yes, one that sticks out the most is that we have a state certified 31 bed memory care unit. There's a director on that unit, there's 3 CNAs and an activity aide, and then a nurse that's assigned to that unit as well. Anybody who works on that unit, more than half of their scheduled time in the facility, they have to go through an annual 12-hour training, showing them, how to deal with behaviors, how to communicate effectively, to, de-escalate situations, to address any type of mood issues and things like that. And they have to do that. They do that annually. Anyone who works in the facility actually has to take a 4-hour course to learn how to, work with patients with dementia. So we're really proud of our memory care unit.
And that sounds like it. In fact, we often talk about, I know Kath and I and Jeanette offer a course on called Dementia Live, and it covers a little bit about communication. Communication and the training is so important. And this is something for you people that are caring for somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's. I think one of the biggest communication things that can help you is don't try to bring your mom or dad to where you are today. Okay, go back to where they are. Find out where they are. They might be talking about something in their past, and become interested in that. And it helps diffuse a lot of situations of maybe agitation and anger by doing that.
You kind of just have to go along with where they are, whether it's something from their childhood or whatnot. You just kind of go with it, and instead of kind of trying to redirect them from whatever they're doing.
You go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Take a journey with them.
Exactly.
Live in their world,
Yes.
whatever. Yeah. Well, tell us about your therapy and rehab department. Now, that's a much needed service.
Sure. We really pride ourselves in our therapy department. Our rehab team at Tower Hill specializes in providing rehabilitation services to our geriatric population with a variety of medical conditions. With using new technology and advanced rehab equipment, our therapists are committed to enhance each resident's quality of life in a caring manner and help them go home, because that is our main goal, is to get our short-term rehab residents back home to their prior level of care, or as close as we can to their prior level of care.
Help them get back to independence.
Yes. And our therapists also work closely with a team of physiatrists, social workers, nurses, doctors, as well as other therapists, in order to create a really great atmosphere for them. So our residents can enjoy working with our therapists to achieve their goals at Tower Hill.
And we were talking about that. So, when you do go into a rehab facility, it is really for your best needs. Physical therapist, whatever therapist you're working with, help you so much. And I was just telling the ladies, I've lost a lot of weight lately. Now, I didn't go into a rehab facility, but that's exactly what these great people are doing, is helping you get back in shape so you can live independently. What type, and I apologize for my chair. Okay, but this is something that is always so confusing in our industry. What payer sources does Tower Hill accept? We can probably spend a few minutes talking about this.
Okay, so we accept Medicaid, Medicare. We also do public aid pending. We actually have someone in-house that assists families and patients with the Medicaid process by helping them file the application and making sure for them. So that's something that we do that a lot of places don't do
Mm-hmm.
in the area. We are also in network with some insurance companies, and we also take private pay as well.
Very good. Let's go into Medicare. You said you have somebody on board that would help process, what was it called?
The Medicaid application.
The Medicaid application. So for public aid, do you have any Medicare type consultants like that?
We do. We have a Medicare consultant, but that's separate from the Medicaid
Okay,
application.
yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you're talking two different payer
Yeah.
systems, right? And it's great to know that you have, both of them covered, because just looking at the daunting paperwork, every
Yes.
senior needs
Yes.
help.
You
In
get
fact,
very overwhelmed when they see it.
very overwhelmed, yes.
And we really help the family navigate through the whole process.
That's fantastic.
It's quite the maze, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now, as far as like maybe just for the private pay, would be a daily rate for a family if they're thinking about?
So our daily rates depend on the room type. So it could be anywhere from $160 per day to $190 per day.
That's very affordable. Very
Yes.
good. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, do you have partners or providers that you use that you bring in house to help the residents?
Yes, we do. We have quite a few doctors that we're partnered with, because we give the residents and the families, a choice. So they may come in, wanting a specific doctor that they know, will follow them to Tower Hill, or we'll just assign, someone that, a medical professional that we're partnered with. We also have a psychiatrist, a psychologist that comes in weekly. We have an optometrist that comes in, a dentist. We have a physiatry team that follows all of our rehab patients, and podiatrists, and pretty much any other ancillary services that they might need. We also have a psychosocial group that comes in to do groups with our patients as well.
Oh, tell me a little bit about that.
It's basically a resident-driven group. There's a leader. He'll come and round them up, and then they kind of come up with topics, which could range from grief and loss to depression, or to trying to acclimate to the facility. So they kind of drive what the topic is, and then they all meet for an hour and kind of discuss. It's private. It's just for the residents, and the person who runs the group, so they can go in there and they can vent, or just kind of deal with issues that they're dealing with, maybe being new to a long-term care facility, or, just having to live somewhere other than home.
Sure, I would think that, especially for a first-time patient that goes into a rehab, this is their first experience. I think that's great to have somebody like that on board that takes care of the emotional and mental uncertainness of what's going on. So I would have to imagine that a lot of residents take advantage of that.
They do, and he does different levels of it. So there's one for higher functioning residents, and then he'll do another one for residents who may be, more cognitively impaired as well.
Awesome.
So someone, to dig a little deeper into that one, if someone's like in the mid stages, let's say with Alzheimer's, he can relate if they're suffering from depression. He can relate to them in a way that higher functioning, differently than someone that was more high functioning, right?
Right. He'll adjust the group and the topics to accommodate, whatever cognitive level he has.
Do you ladies sometimes experience that depression or some emotional things that are troubling them gets in the way of an individual rehabbing to their maximum?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you have to address the depression issue, prior to or as you're addressing the physical.
Yep.
So it's not uncommon. It's actually very common for patients to have, a depression component going on.
Right. So it's wonderful to have the psychiatrist
Yes.
and these groups. Yeah, that's wonderful.
That is. Why don't Lauren or Amanda, why don't one of you take us through, or both of you, through your admissions process for someone admitting from the hospital or another facility versus coming from home?
Sure. So we know it can be very confusing to family members once they're admitting their loved ones. So for example, if we have someone coming from the hospital, all we require is for the family to contact the case manager and from there to send over the referral to Tower Hill. And within 15 minutes, we'll be able to give the family and the case manager an answer if we can accommodate their needs. We always go and assess every patient, which I think is very important, no matter what, if they're at home, if they're in the hospital or another nursing facility. I think it's important that they have a familiar face when they come to Tower Hill. Oh, I remember you from the hospital. So that gives me a chance to go introduce myself, give them any additional information and answer any questions that they may have. And then from home, it's a similar process. We have the family contact the primary doctor and then fax over all the clinicals. And again, we give them a quick answer within 15 minutes if we could accommodate. And we always encourage families to come into our facility as well.
I've got a question for you. What are some of the most common questions that you would get from a patient coming to Tower Hill?
Common questions, usually about rehab, how often they get rehab, if they get physical, occupational, speech. They ask a lot about the food.
Oh, really?
It's very important,
Yeah.
so I always stress that we do have choices. And about the doctors on staff with us as well.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So, can you tell us about some of the activities or socialization, opportunities for socialization that the patients have while they're there with you guys?
So we have, we offer a lot of activities. We offer activities for every cognitive level. So we'll offer, we have everything from bingo to, sensory activities for people who may be more cognitively impaired. And they're all individually focused. So they do, basically an individual care plan for each resident with an activity goal for that patient. So that we can address, if it's somebody that's very outgoing, their goal might be to, go to bingo or whatever. They have their choice. They can, kind of navigate their way through the activity.
I suppose there's some that are more social and want and need that social interaction. And there's other ones that are a little bit more independent or interested.
But we really try and encourage every resident to come out of their room and participate. And even if they don't want to participate, just be around other people. It's very important.
They'll also do one-on-ones with the patients who are kind of isolative. So an activity aid will go in there, based on that person's interests and bring things for them to do with them in the room.
Okay, kind of like what, playing solitaire with them? Or,
yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of interactive things going on. I know a lot of people are using electronics these days to help in activities. Do you guys offer something like that? Such as I guess, is it called?
I believe they do that in the therapy department.
Okay.
I know they do it, for the coordination.
Like Rehab, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can you think of from your time there, like someone maybe that come in that was isolated, maybe at home isolated, and kind of how they got around the activities and other people and kind of come out? You can think of any
Sometimes
situations?
it can be hard because sometimes that's just who they are. They're, they've always been a loner. They're not really into engaging. You just kind of have to, by interviewing them as well as their family, kind of find things that might tap their interest or a particular person who they may be drawn to.
There's got to be something that's got to be a wonderful thing to watch and witness when you see somebody who is kind of like quiet and just is very in the corner. I don't want to be noticed, and then you just see them blossom into this social butterfly. I think it's fantastic.
You find that one thing that they enjoy and then build off of that.
I'm curious. You've been talking about that a lot, and you find out what it is that they enjoy, whether it be the activities. You talk about the doctors. You talk about the food. Is this something that you all address at the time that you meet with the families prior prior to deciding whether or not it might be a good fit for them to come to Tower Hill? Meaning, you know, is that what you do? Is you look at what are their likes, what are their dislikes? Is that something we can accommodate? Because I've had a couple of situations in house here and friends that have had parents that ended up going somewhere and ended up having less than satisfaction because I think they lack what you guys seem to be providing, which is so wonderful. So what do you do? Is that a matter of meeting with the family, the individual, both?
That's why I think it's important to always meet them before admission and talk to the family, talk to the resident. What are your expectations?
Right.
Let them know everything we offer so they're not coming in blindsided.
Or false promises.
Right.
You know, it's like
Exactly.
you expect, or false expectations for that matter.
Mhm.
You know, you're expecting to get this and it's not something that is part of their makeup is in the rehab center. So I love the healthcare. I love the idea of what you guys do. I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. You know, and it's still based on that point. I think it's when Amanda was talking that you meet with each and every client
Yes.
that come in to answer and address any sort of questions. And you know, you kind of find out their activities. And I'm thinking along the Alzheimer's and dementia realm here. Do you get into the questions of what they were like, what their childhood was like, and things like that?
Definitely, when especially, particularly if they're going on to the memory care unit,
Mm-hmm.
there's an assessment, a whole assessment that's done prior to them admitting.
Mm-hmm.
You find out pretty much everything about them, their interests, their parents' names, where they grew up, what they did, how old they were when they got married, you know, everything to kind of put a program together for them.
And I think you know, that is so key when caring for somebody that is having memory issues. And I think it's fantastic that you guys do this and you make it a priority in your interviewing. So you're really interviewing the family to find out how to best care for their mom or dad.
And I think too, I like the fact that you see them ahead of time, which means probably I'm assuming at the hospital before they even come there, because there's no matter what, nobody wants to go into a crowded room or a place where the party's already been happening, and all you do is look for that one familiar face. So when they get to see you, Amanda, or get to see somebody that they had ahead of time, there's a flood of excitement that, you know.
Right, and especially if they have never been to a rehab facility, they don't know what to expect.
Right.
So I really like to take them through the steps and know.
Do you have any processes in place to kind of make sure the communication's going well and the customers are satisfied at the end of the day?
Yes, when somebody admits, it's usually somebody from the admission team will, you know, meet them there and kind of, like I said, we'll be familiar to them or introduce ourselves, answer any questions that they have, you know, upon admission. And then we'll check in with them, you know, over the course of their stay, kind of, you know, get ahead of any issues they may be having or address anything that, you know, needs to be addressed or questions that they have regarding the facility or, you know, anything that they might need.
Sure.
Yep. So I don't. How about when it's time to go home, especially like out of rehab? How's that process sort of work for you guys?
Well, we have a social worker on staff with us, so there's also care plan meetings throughout their stay, so they're always in the loop as to how their family member is progressing. So it's not like we call them up, okay, mom's ready to go home today.
Right.
So we have a lot of resources to offer those family members and the patient when returning home.
Excellent.
That's fantastic. You know, this half hour went very quick. Did I tell you it was not going to go very, very quick?
Shout out to Tower
We had a couple shout outs that you wanted to do. Tower Hill was one shout out. Who's
All the
another?
staff, the administrative staff, the line staff at Tower Hill.
Thank you for everything you do.
How about your husband's work?
Hey, Jeff.
Very good.
Same too. If any of them are listening, that might be great to know. You know, I think that's a wonderful.
And this is important. Before we leave, we'd like for you guys to share your contact information with our audience.
Okay, Tower Hill is located at 759 King Street in South Elgin. Our website is towerhillhealthcare.com, and our phone number is 847-697-3310. Please come tour.
There we go.
Tours
And
happen all the time? Can you do
Yes.
that
Yeah, you
anytime?
can tour
anytime.
anytime.
There'll
No
always be
appointment
someone
needed.
there.
why don't you go ahead and repeat your website and your phone number one more time?
towerhillhealthcare.com, and then 847-697-3310.
And we'll get that up on our Facebook page too.
Beautiful.